Imagine for a second you're sitting in a busy airport terminal. You're just people watching.
Right.
And you see someone sprinting to the gate. Not because they're late, the flight isn't for an hour, but because walking slowly seems to, I don't know, physically pain them.
Mm.
They are just cutting through the crowd like a shark through water.
I think we've all had to dodge that person.
We have.
Yeah.
But then look 2 rows over. You see someone else who has unpacked their bag and is like meticulously reorganizing it.
Yes, the organizer.
They're checking pockets, aligning their book with their laptop, making sure it's all just so. It feels like you're watching 2 completely different species, you know?
It really does. But according to the research we're looking at today, you aren't seeing different species. You're just seeing the difference between a red operating system and a blue one.
And that is exactly where we're going. We're taking a deep dive into the RBYG behavioral patterns. And I want to stop you right there. Before you tune out thinking, oh, great, another horoscope for the office, just stick with us.
Yeah, this isn't that.
This isn't about finding out if you're a Hufflepuff. This is about predictive behavior. We're looking at research based on the work of Abdulatif al-Bustani.
Right, and that's a crucial distinction. Al-Bustani isn't some pop culture guru. He's a researcher in behavioral psychology, and this is the part I found fascinating, cybersecurity.
Which is such a weird intersection, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why is a cybersecurity guy rewriting personality theory?
Well, it makes perfect sense when you think about the biggest vulnerability in any security system.
The human.
It's always the human behind the keyboard.
Yeah.
So Al-Bustani's work, which has been validated in journals like IE and Science Direct, is all about spotting human error. It's about predicting how someone will react or break under pressure.
So it's not just who are you, it's more like how will you act when everything's on fire?
Precisely. The RBYG framework, red, blue, yellow, green, is designed to be a rapid-fire tool. In cybersecurity, you need to assess someone immediately. You can't ask a hacker to fill out a questionnaire.
Right.
You need to scan them, understand their source code, and, predict their next move.
So the mission for today is to give everyone listening that scanner. We want to move beyond just labeling people and actually learn how to handle them. The boss, the spouse, even yourself.
Exactly. And just for context, this does have roots in William Marston's DC profile from, 1928?
A long time ago.
But what Al-Bustani did was strip away the jargon. He just color-coded it. RBYG. It's designed to be easy to remember when you're stressed.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah.
I'm not remembering a complex acronym in an argument. I can remember red means hot. So let's get into it. 4 colors: red, blue, yellow, green. I know people are complex, but for today we're just talking about the archetypes, right?
We are. Think of it as the main pattern, the default setting most of us broadcast on.
Okay, let's start with R, the red. The source calls it the practical, but reading the description, I just wrote down the steamroller.
The boss is probably the most common shorthand. The core motive for a red is simple: power and control. These are your results-oriented people.
Point A to point B.
In the shortest straight line possible, and they really don't care what or who they have to go through to get there.
So back at the airport, how do I spot a red before they even say anything?
Look at how they move. They walk the fastest, they take up space, they make direct, almost intense eye contact.
Locked on target.
Totally. And if you walked into their office, look at their desk.
Let me guess. It's a complete mess because they're so busy.
The exact opposite. It's sparse, no clutter, no papers, no family photos, just the tools they need right now. Clutter is inefficiency.
Efficiency is kind of their religion.
It is, and this bleeds into their decision-making. This was one of the stats in the research that blew my mind. A red will make a final decision with only 60 to 70% of the information.
That sounds incredibly reckless to me. I feel like I need 95% of the data.
To you, 60% feels like a gamble. To a red, waiting for that other 30% feels like paralysis. They'd rather act now, be wrong, and fix it, than sit around waiting.
But that speed must come with some social collateral damage.
A lot of it. They don't value social fluff. They don't do compliments. They don't do that sandwich method of feedback,
So good, the bad, the good.
Yeah. A red just gives you the critique. To them, they're being helpful by being efficient. To everyone else, they just sound harsh.
So what happens when you corner one? When stress hits, what does a red meltdown look like?
They fight. They never retreat. If a red feels like they're being taken advantage of, which is their deepest fear, they get aggressive. They talk over you. They issue commands. They double down.
Okay, so that's the gas pedal. Let's look at the brake. The B, the blue pattern, the analytical.
If the red is driven by power, the blue is driven by accuracy and correctness.
So these are the skeptics, the perfectionists.
Total perfectionists.
Yeah.
Visually, they're the opposite of the red. They're contained, modest body language, minimal gestures. They dress formally. And if you watch them work, they are slow.
But not lazy slow.
Deliberate slow. A blue is terrified of being wrong. Their biggest fear is being criticized. So where a red acts on 60% data, a blue will stall at 99% because they're looking for that last 1%.
I feel that. The analysis paralysis trap. You just keep researching because you're scared of the wrong move.
That's the blue's shadow side. They want zero mistakes. On a team, they're invaluable. They catch the errors. But socially, they can be really indirect.
The source had some funny examples of blue speak. Like they never just say no.
Right. A blue will say something like, "It is technically important that we do not proceed." What they're screaming inside is, "Don't do that, it's a disaster," but they couch it in logic.
And under pressure, if the red fights, what does the blue do?
They withdraw, go cold, they'll physically leave, turn off their phone, they clam up, but, and this is key, they do not forget.
They keep the receipts.
A blue keeps all the receipts, literal and metaphorical. They catalog errors.
Okay, note to self, never cross a blue. Let's pivot to the warmer side of the spectrum, the people-oriented types. Let's do why the yellow, the expressive.
This is the life of the party. Their motive is recognition and social proof.
I think we all know a yellow, or at least we hear them before we see them.
You definitely hear them. They're loud, dynamic, they wear bright colors, they talk with their hands, big sweeping gestures.
I love that stranger test from the source material for spotting them.
Yes. If you see someone strike up a full 10-minute conversation with a complete stranger in a grocery line laughing and joking, that's a yellow. They feed on interaction.
But the downside seems to be chaos.
A lot of chaos. They're disorganized. They hate details. Putting a yellow in front of a spreadsheet for 8 hours is basically torture. They rely on luck and charm to get by.
What does a yellow meltdown look like when they get stressed?
It's volatile. Unlike the red's calculated aggression, a yellow's stress is emotional. They attack verbally. You never listen to me. You don't appreciate me.
Because their fear is rejection.
Exactly. They need to be liked. So if they feel ignored, they get loud to get the attention back.
Which brings us to our last color, the G, the green, the amiable.
The peacemaker. If yellow wants applause, green just wants everyone to get along. Their motive is security and stability.
These are the listeners.
The world's best listeners. They have this warm vibe. The source calls them water for fire. They cool things down. They always prioritize feelings over facts.
But I imagine that causes problems when a hard decision has to be made.
Oh, massive problems. A green struggles so much to give bad news. The example they used was a green trying to tell a neighbor their cat is sick.
Oh, no.
They'll just dance around it, apologize 5 times, talk about the weather. They can't bear causing someone else pain.
So they light themselves on fire to keep others warm.
That's a perfect way to put it. And that leads to their stress response, submission. They just give up. If there's a conflict, a green will just say, fine, whatever you want to make it stop.
Okay, so we have the commander, the analyst, the socialite, and the peacemaker. But the source material talks about masks. Because I'm listening to this thinking, well, I'm a blue at work, but I'm a yellow on the weekends.
And that's completely normal. RBYG calls this the pretense pattern, the mask you wear.
The pretense pattern.
It's the behavior you adopt to survive or get paid. Imagine a natural, blue, quiet, analytical. But they get promoted to sales director.
Nightmare job for them.
Total nightmare. They have to act like a yellow, be loud, be social. Can they do it? Yes. But it costs them double the energy. They come home completely drained.
That explains why some jobs feel like they just drain your soul.
You're fighting your nature. And beyond the masks, you have combinations. The RB, for example, the red-blue mix.
The skeptical doer.
It's a powerhouse. The drive of the red, but the detail obsession of the blue. They're always asking why and how before they act.
Then you have the YG yellow and green.
The fan favorite, the person everyone trusts. They have the social skills of a yellow, but the empathy of a green. A great team player.
But the part of the research that really stopped me was the opposites phenomenon. What happens when you're a mix of two colors that technically hate each other, like red and green?
This is a really profound insight. Think about it. Red is direct and task-focused. Green is indirect and people-focused.
They're complete opposites.
Same with blue, who's cautious, and yellow, who is a risk-taker. So if you're an RG, you're a walking contradiction. an internal tug of war.
You might be super strict 1 minute and a total pushover the next.
Exactly. To the outside world, you might seem moody or inconsistent.
But the text flips that, right? It says it's not a weakness.
It argues it's a massive strength. It means you're highly self-motivated, you have the gas pedal and the brake inside your own head. You don't need a team to balance you. You are a Swiss Army knife of behavior.
Love that. You're not broken, you're just a complete ecosystem.
Exactly. You don't need to fit in a box because you are the box.
All right, let's land this plane. Let's make this practical. The source has this great anecdote about mango ice cream that just perfectly shows how these patterns clash.
The mango scenario, yes. It's a classic yellow versus red collision.
Set the scene for us.
Okay, so you have Khalid. He's a pattern Y, a yellow. He's fun. He's spontaneous. He's driving with his wife, Mona, who's a pattern R, a red. She's serious, task-focused.
Got it.
And Khalid is feeling good and asks, "Hey, Mango, who wants some mango ice cream?"
Okay, so he's trying to be cute, using a playful nickname.
He is reaching out for connection and fun. That is yellow language. But Mona, she's a red. She's in pilot mode. She's focused on the traffic, the schedule. So to her, this is just noise.
And what does she say?
She snaps back, "Stop this nonsense, the kids are here."
Ouch. Yeah, that hurts just hearing it.
Right, and Khalid feels rejected. He shuts down. The mood is ruined. But here's the thing. Mona wasn't trying to be cruel. To a red, nonsense is anything that distracts from the objective.
She thought she was just being efficient.
Exactly. So if she knew this stuff, she would realize, my husband is a yellow. He's speaking yellow. He needs a high-energy response. All she had to say was, "Okay, Mango, let's get some."
Cost her nothing.
Nothing. Takes 2 seconds. But she speaks his language, validates him, and disaster is averted. It's not about changing who you are. It's about translation.
It's empathy through data. I like that. So let's build a quick guide for work. The red and blue clash is the one I see all the time.
Yeah.
If I'm reporting to a red boss, what's the golden rule?
Save their time. That is the only commandment.
So be brief.
Be surgical. Don't walk in and say, "Well, I was feeling like maybe we could." Just walk in and say, "The data says X. I suggest option A or B. Which do you want?"
Give them the choice so they keep control.
Correct. You empower them and you get out of their hair. And never give a red a fake promise. They respect a hard no more than a soft maybe.
Okay, flip it. I'm dealing with the blue. Maybe from the accounting department. I want to sell them on a new idea.
Do not rush. You have to show your work.
Bring the receipts.
Bring all of them.
That data.
The data, the case studies. Send the agenda beforehand. A blue hates surprises. If you're disorganized or loud, they'll see you as incompetent. You have to earn their trust through accuracy.
So with a red, I'm selling speed and results. With a blue, I'm selling safety and precision.
You've got it.
What about the yellows? How do I manage a yellow employee who's always late?
You leverage their need for recognition. Praise them in front of others. Give them a stage. But for the deadlines, you might have to set fake deadlines a day early.
The yellow tax.
It's a necessary evil. And for the green, give them security. Ask for their opinion one-on-one, not in a big meeting. Show them you care about them as a person, and they'll be loyal for life.
It's funny, I'm already rewriting emails I sent yesterday in my head. Okay, that was too fluffy for the red.
It really changes the game. You stop taking things personally. When the blue doesn't reply for 3 days, it's not because they hate you, it's because they're thinking. When the red sends a one-word answer, approved, they're not being dismissive. They're being efficient.
It's just their operating system.
Exactly. We need to stop judging people for not being us and start understanding them for who they are.
So, to recap, we have the practical red, motive is control. The analytical blue, motive is accuracy. The expressive yellow, motive is recognition. And the amiable green, motive is security.
And remember, context is key. You might be a yellow at a party, but when a deadline looms, you might flip into red mode to survive. We adapt.
I think the thing I'm going to take away from this is that opposite pattern idea.
It's a great final thought to leave on.
Because so many people feel like they're too much or too contradictory. They think, why am I so strict with my kids, but a pushover with my friends? They feel like something's wrong with them.
And the answer isn't that you're unstable. It's that you have a wide range. You have that opposite pattern superpower. You can access tools most people can't.
It makes you harder to analyze, sure.
And maybe a bit harder to live with sometimes. But it also makes you capable of handling almost anything life throws at you.
You're not broken. You're just self-sufficient. I love that.
It's a good place to be.
Well, I'm going to go analyze how I walk to the fridge now to see if I'm a red or a blue. Thanks for helping us crack the code today.
My pleasure.